Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. If you're ready to learn, well, you are in the exact right place. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating reading from the biblical text. Specifically, we're looking at Psalm chapter 75 from the NIV Bible. It's this incredible passage filled with vivid pictures, big ideas about fairness, and just a whole lot of praise for our mighty God. We're going to explore exactly why we celebrate him and what it actually means to truly do what is right.
Okay, let's jump right in by asking a kind of funny question. Have you ever imagined what you would look like if you suddenly grew a giant pair of horns on your head? Seriously, picture it. Maybe you'd look like a rhino or a big wild ox. Well, the biblical text actually talks about people lifting up their horns. I know, it sounds super weird, right? But it's actually a really cool piece of imagery that we're going to decode together today. But before we figure out what those horns mean, we need to understand exactly who this psalm is written for.
All right, let's get into section 1, praising our mighty God. So this beautiful song was written by a man named Asaph. And get this, the ancient instructions actually say it was supposed to be sung to a specific tune called Do Not Destroy. Kind of catchy, right? It starts off so happy, just repeating, "We praise you, God, we praise you." Asaph is excitedly talking about all the amazing things he does. And when the writer says your name is near, he's reminding us that God isn't far away. He's right here with us, and people everywhere are talking about his wonderful deeds.
The biblical text gives us 3 really awesome facts about him right here. First, he chooses the perfectly appointed time for literally everything. He is never, ever late. Second, he judges with perfect equity, which is really just a fancy word for total fairness. And third, when the earth and all its people quake, meaning when everything feels scary and shaking all around us, it is he who holds the earth's pillars firm. Imagine our world is kind of like a giant wobbly table sometimes. Well, he is the one who holds it perfectly steady and balanced so it doesn't fall over.
Which leads us right into section 2, the danger of boasting. Now, listen to this strong warning. He is speaking directly to people who are being arrogant, people who think they're somehow better than everyone else. He says, boast no more. And to the wicked, he says, do not lift up your horns against heaven. Do not speak so defiantly. He's basically telling them to stop bragging and stop acting like they are the ones in charge of the universe.
And that brings us right back to our funny question from the very beginning. Here is what that kid-friendly analogy actually means. In this part of the biblical text, a horn is a symbol of acting arrogant, boasting, or just showing off your strength. Think of a big wild animal putting its head down and flashing its sharp horns to look tough and scare all the other animals. Having horns here simply means bragging about being the strongest and the best, and using that strength to act like a bully.
The text reminds us that we really shouldn't try to make ourselves look great, because real exaltation, which just means being lifted up or made important, doesn't just wander in from the desert. You can't find it by looking to the east or searching out to the west. You can't just magically stumble upon being important, and you certainly can't earn it by bragging loudly or showing off your horns.
All right, moving on to section 3, God is the true judge.
Let's literally break this down step by step to see how it works. Step 1, he judges. He looks directly at everyone's hearts. Step 2, he brings one down. If someone is out there being arrogant and boastful, well, he will lower them. Step 3, he exalts another. If someone is being humble and doing what is right, he is the one who lifts them up. He's the only one who gets to make that final decision.
Now, to explain how he judges those who do wrong, the biblical text paints this incredibly vivid picture. It says that in the hand of the Lord is a cup full of foaming wine mixed with spices. He pours it out, and all the wicked of the earth have to drink it down to its very dregs, which means all the way down to the bitter, gritty bottom. Yuck. Having to drink something that bitter is a really powerful way of saying that those who do wrong will absolutely have to face the consequences for their actions. He makes sure that fairness always wins out in the end.
And that brings us to our final section, lifting up the righteous.
After hearing all about that judgment stuff, the writer of the psalm shares this incredibly joyful, amazing promise. He says, "As for me, I will declare this forever. I will sing praise to the God of Jacob." It's like he's saying, no matter what crazy things are going on in the world, he is choosing to use his voice, not to brag about himself, but to joyfully sing praises to him.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this massive contrast right at the end of the psalm. Just look at this comparison. On one side, he says he will cut off the horns of all the wicked. That means he is going to take away the power and the strength of the bullies who love to brag. But on the other side, the horns of the righteous will be lifted up. He will give real strength, honor, and reward to those who are good, kind, and follow his ways.
The really cool thing is, the reader of this psalm actually repeated verses 9 and 10 twice in the reading to make absolutely sure we get it. We are meant to declare this forever. We need to constantly remember and share this truth. He is completely in control. He perfectly balances our wobbly world. He stops the boastful, and he lifts up those who truly love him.
Which leaves us with one final super important thought to take away from this explainer today. Think about your own life for a second. How will you use your strength, your horns, to praise him today instead of boasting? You have so many incredible gifts, talents, and energy. Are you going to use them to just show off, or will you use them to help others and sing praises to our mighty God? Thank you guys so much for joining me on The Explainer today. Keep learning, keep praising, and I'll catch you next time.